Hello, and welcome all to my newest video. Now I'm sure that most of you that have clicked on this video right now probably already know what an Amiibo is, so I won't get into too much detail on what exactly they are. Hey, that's what Google's for after all. Anyways, these plastic figures have been collectible ever since the advent of their release, and this has led to a sizable market and following. So that begs the question, what Amiibo are for certain the rarest and most expensive out there? Well, that question will be answered in this video, showcasing 10 of the hardest to find relics among the hundreds of them in existence. Now before I get into the list though, I want to drop a few quick rules and guidelines. First of all, this list will not be including any defect or prototype Amiibo, as they are not originally intended as the market item. Sorry for those who like to collect for twin cannon Samuses. And secondly, I will be taking into consideration sold products only, and I will be following the USD currency. So for those non-American viewers who will possibly get confused about the upcoming prices, you've been informed. Anyhow, enough wasting time. Let's just get on with it already. Starting off at our number 10 spot is the Skyward Sword variant of Link. Now it was the choice between this Amiibo and about, 5 other Link variants of the Zelda 30th anniversary wave who were going to make the cut for this list. Now I chose this one out of all of them simply due to this one absolutely being the hardest one to find out of all of them. It's especially unhelpful that this Amiibo was an Amazon store exclusive. Anyways, this Amiibo fetches around $50 loose and slightly over $70 sealed and rising. If any advice I'd give for these 30th anniversary Zelda Amiibo entirely, I would advise y'all to pick these up before Breath of the Wild 2 is released.
Number 9. Player 2 Corrin.
Wow, he's really mastered it.
Wait a minute, this isn't Watch Mojo. Now, all jokes aside, coming in at our number 9 spot is the Poochie Amiibo from the Yoshi's Woolly World lineup. This Amiibo has the unique distinction for not only being the only non-Yoshi Amiibo in the Woolly World arrangement, but for also being handcrafted with legit yarn, just like every Woolly World Amiibo in the set. This distinction makes this Amiibo stand out apart from every other Amiibo out there. For whatever reason, these factors also made Poochie highly collectible in particular, making your average Poochie reach for about $50+ loose and well over $80 inside the box. Now seriously, Watch Mojo though, get it together before releasing badly researched lists. Jumping into our number 8 spot on this list being the Splatoon Inkling Squid, Boy, and Girl 3-pack, but the alternate color versions. These Amiibo were released as alternate versions of the original 3-pack, but became harder to obtain and far more collectible. Now it was kind of tough picking between this 3-pack and the Mario Odyssey Wedding 3-pack set in the spot for this list. In the end though, considering that the Mario Odyssey Amiibo are generally much easier to obtain separately and loose, this Splatoon 3-pack managed to qualify instead. Your standard alt-color variant Splatoon figure will snag you about $25 to $40 for each figure, but inside the plastic and cardboard will rip your wallet apart of well over $80 and counting.
Where am I?
Next up at our number 7 on this list, we have a gold Mega Man variant Amiibo from the Mega Man Legacy Collection 3DS Collector's Edition. What's baffling to me about this Amiibo is that the design is nothing more than a gold spray-painted Smash Bros. Mega Man Amiibo. But what really makes this Amiibo collectible is that it's rumored to be the least produced US Amiibo in numbers, along with being an exclusive only to the United States. Nothing else behind its price really, aside from being the fact that it's gold. Anywho, the average pricing for this blue gold bomber loose is about $50 to $60, and sealed it's sitting at an $85 to $90 price point. Be careful when you plan to buy this though, as it's very easy to fake these things. And wait, don't you get any bright ideas either. Know what, forget everything I said here, moving on.
Princess!
Number 6 pick is without a doubt the biggest Amiibo to ever hit the market, that being the Mega Yarn Yoshi Amiibo. Being the second Woolly World Amiibo on this list aside from the Poochie prior mentioned, this massive stuffed animal-like toy was an exclusive to Toys R Us. It had the distinction of being the biggest of the Woolly World lineup, and possibly for doubling as not only an Amiibo toy, but a cuddly stuffed and knitted friend for all of your dogs to rip apart. Not really though, I've heard it's great to cuddle with. Combination of being super unique, a store exclusive, and a bestseller, having all led to this Amiibo going for around $80 for the figure alone nowadays, and inside the cardboard averaging well over $100. Now be warned, at this point past this pick is where the Amiibos start to get crazy expensive and fairly scarce in numbers, so be prepared. Coming in at the number 5 spot is the Squid Sisters themselves, the Callie Marie 2-pack Amiibo set. These amiibo, in recent years, have gained a reputation for becoming grail pieces for many Splatoon fans and amiibo collectors. Now, unlike most of the amiibo on this list already, there's no particular concrete reason as to why these are so expensive, but I believe it's simply due to having a lack of supply and a thirsting demand, not to mention no mentioned reprint date anytime soon and Splatoon 2 being in existence. All culminating together, the average pricing for this figure will total you about 40 plus for each of them. That's about 80 or so total for you math geeks. And to get them sealed will cost you around 120 over, which is more than your average grocery bill for all you parents out there. Gonna be honest at this point though, you hardcore amiibo collectors and Splatoon fans are crazy for spending this much on such measly statues. Well, everything appeals to something. Wink wink, nudge nudge. No time to waste now. Front flipping into number 4 is the Animal Crossing X Hello Kitty Amiibo card set. Now these are the most unique and bizarre entries, as they are the only non-figure based amiibo on the entire list. Supposedly released in Europe and Japan exclusively, these amiibo were released as just a 6-card total set. Though not being the first time the amiibo brand has collaborated with other brands, take the Skylanders amiibo for example, these amiibo are super limited and have resulted in huge demand and price jump over time. Nowadays, grabbing yourself a pack of these cards will cost around $150 lowest, but about $30 for each individually or a little more. Nonetheless, these are still hard to get and hold impressive value in comparison to most of the physical figurines.
We ain't afraid of no Koopas. Whoa.
Alright, and the bronze medal for the rarest and most expensive amiibo coming in at number 3 is the QB amiibo from Box Boy. Now, how in the world is this super simplistic 3D printer experiment looking amiibo supposed to be rare and expensive at all? I mean, it looks like a sugar cube. Believe it or not, the major reason for its pricing being ridiculous is due to the simple fact that the amiibo was never released outside of Japan. Unless you buy it online, chances are that you aren't going to find this in store shelves. Even if that were the case, who would even buy a rotten piece of tofu in hard plastic packaging? Okay, all insults toward this poor thing aside, this thing holds an average pricing of a whopping $180 for just the figure itself, which outside the package is more expensive than all of the prior amiibo on this list sealed. Now speaking of being sealed, this thing goes for between $220 to over $300 inside the packaging. This makes this amiibo the most expensive amiibo ever released to the market. Why is this thing so expensive? You know, never mind, let's move on.
Where Wendy's hid the real coin.
Now number 2 has, funnily enough, 2 amiibos for the spot of the silver medal. Up next, we have the Monster Hunter Gold and Silver One-Eyed Rathalos with Boy Rider. That's a mouthful. These amiibo were exclusive to a 2017 Monster Hunter Stories competition held in Japan, and were unobtainable outside of winning them in the competition. Depending on how you did in this event, determined what coding of amiibo you got. However, the people who got these amiibo in their hands were winners regardless, as these amiibos are extremely rare. The exact number of these produced is relatively unknown, though some sources state that only roughly 10 of each were ever made for the competition. Due to the number of these amiibos made being very low, the average price of these amiibo is still unknown to this day, though I can speculate that this amiibo will cost thousands of dollars if it ever hits eBay.
This is it, Luigi.
And finally, coming in at the number 1 spot for a gold medal on today's list of the rarest and most expensive amiibo ever released is the Gold Mega Man 11 amiibo. Similarly to the last couple entries on the list, the Gold Mega Man was only released under a special circumstance. This time, it was a raffle, where winning that raffle will result in this amiibo being your prize. Now, only 10 of these were ever confirmed to be made, and it doesn't look like it'll ever be released in stores. Now, this and the Monster Hunter amiibo prior have received minor controversy or whether or not they should be considered legitimate amiibo for collections, considering they're only obtainable via special event and act more as trophies than actual toys. Now, in my honest opinion, and this is gonna sound rough, these amiibo are still usable and somewhat obtainable. So yes, they're qualified as amiibo for anyone's collection. I have a slight feeling though that most of their upset at this amiibo are just whining about how they don't have them and have made excuses to legitimize their beliefs, poor souls. Anyway, very similar to the Monster Hunter amiibo prior, the Gold Mega Man has an unknown price tag currently, as there's no confirmed Hey guys, sorry for the abrupt cut here. The very ending of the video when I was editing it was corrupted in the save file, so I have to redo some of the segment here. What was corrupted and went missing entirely was the very ending of the video and the pricing for the Mega Man 11 Gold Amiibo. So here I'll state the pricing here quickly and go on to the conclusion. I assume that it's gonna go for thousands if it ever hits the market. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Do you have any Amiibo that you have that's rare? Do you have any that you think I missed on this list? Maybe I could even answer some of your questions in the comments below, but I probably won't be able to get to all of them over time, though I will do my best. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you soon. Bye.